Okay, Roger Fitzhardinge interviewing Jonah Oliver for EQ Life. Jonah's up in Queensland at the moment at the Ultimate Masterclass working with Steffen and as a psychologist, it's a relatively new thing for equestrian people to grasp the concept of where your input is going to help them write a test. So whereabouts do you see that is the most important area that Rai should focus on what you've got to offer?
Well, it's a big question.
Yeah.
I guess for me it's, if we can summarise it the best I can, it's trying to bring out consistency in riders. What I see in dressage is people train to a certain degree. They might do even tests in training and be getting certain scores. Then when they go into the competitive environment, you see a big difference. So I guess my role is trying to minimise that gap. So one is whatever quality I can do in training, can I replicate that when I'm really nervous or under pressure? Secondly, can I actually encourage riders to go from a very safe, cautious, riding for 5s and 6s and this very error-free mentality to actually go for it, to go out there and shine, and actually chase down those 7s and 8s and really almost challenge that perfectionistic, error-free mentality and push your riders to that next level.
So do you see your role more in the office type environment where you're one-on-one with as me as a competitor and you as someone helping me, or do you also take that onto the field and be at the competition to help people in the warm-up? Where does your role in that situation fit in?
Look, it's a great question. The answer is both. Primarily, I need to do some assessment and some work, typically in my office. Get to know the person, get to know their personality, get to know what are the barriers to them performing well. And then I like to see people in action. I want to see how it plays out. You know, some people in the competitive environment do step up. The adrenaline motivates them and they really do sort of shine. And others I see frozen deer in headlights. So getting there and actually seeing what's going on when the competition's on is important. And then, once you've got those tools and resources to then be involved in that warm-up.
I suppose the question that comes to mind is that I know you work with Super 8 cars and with water polo people at the Olympics and with golfers and with business people. And for us as equestrians, we feel our sport is very different, which I'm sure I've come to realise, and watching you yesterday, being so intently watching all the classes with great interest all day and learning from soaking up as much as you can. How much does the horse and rider combination sort of influence the way that you would take on equestrian people?
That's a great question, and one that I'm probably at times a bit even controversial with. There's no doubt that the horse's temperament and personality is a major factor, and that interaction is a major factor. But what I will say is the biggest influence on the horse and that interaction is the rider. More than I think a lot of people in the industry are willing to accept. When I see a horse having a bad day, an off day, being temperamental, I'm normally seeing a rider who's either anxious, angry, or wound up, and really, or the parent, the groom, the family friend, something is making the rider operate in a certain way, and that's what's influencing the horse.
Right. Yeah, it's certainly for me, I'm just listening to you yesterday and have a little bit to do with it in the past. It's an area I think is going to make a huge difference, especially to the elite riders. But if you can get it in the mind at the grassroots or at the novice level, you think that's going to be a benefit as well?
Oh, no doubt. It's like anything, isn't it? It's training, everything you can do at a developmental stage. And I find kids typically are more open to learning than adults.
Yeah.
So if we can impart some things on the younger riders about normalising the anxious experience, getting used to pressure, embracing that, tolerating errors and mistakes, and not getting so caught up in the frustration when things don't quite go right. If you can do that with a younger rider, then that's going to help their career far more than trying to undo sort of 30 years of entrenched learning.
Yeah, today should be a fantastic day, the Ultimate Masterclass. I know you'll have a lot more input and bouncing off Steffen and seeing you just socialising together, a little bit of interaction yesterday. It was absolutely fascinating and fantastic, and I'm sure it's a way for our sport, and I congratulate you and thank you for coming out and helping us.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Jonah.